Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are. This is another edition of Dublin in Darkness. We find ourselves at the gate of the Rothschild estate. Um, Alexander has found one of Mr. Pinkerton's cards, one of his business cards, claiming that he is a private eye. This, of course, intrigues Alexander, and he decides to invite him to the estate. So as Mr. Pinkerton arrives, he will stand at a large gate. Sounds like an old gate, heavy iron gate. And there is a voice box on the right side of the gate.
So okay, this is pretty good.
When he calls, an older gentleman answers that call. And they expect you, and as soon as you say who you are, the gate opens and you can drive up to the estate grounds. The road you take leads to the left and passes a golf course that at that moment being very well kept. You can see many people on the estate. Obviously, a large part of the estate is walked on by humans and not ghouls or kindred. So at this moment, it behooves yourself to watch what you're saying. However, when you keep driving on, you will end up on the left side of the largest building of the estate, and this is where you'll have to stop. Large concrete pillars come up from the road to block any vehicle that might want to drive on. However, when you arrive at a small house, you can see there is a butler waiting. It is an older gentleman standing there, almost at attention, with his hands behind his back.
So basically, to describe how Pinkerton looked to the audience and whatnot, Pinkerton is huge and monstrous. Pinkerton stands about 7'5". Huge. Think of him like the Gray Hulk Joey Fixit. He has his suit on and whatnot. He's looking very old school fashion detective like, and he walks basically to the butler and kind of looks down and he tips his hat to him.
You can see the gentleman blink twice. He is impressed by your size. However, he keeps his decorum, and since you are arriving alone, he says, "Please follow me, Mr. Pinkerton." And as you walk on, there's a small walk towards the front door of the house. You'll walk on gravel stones until you get to the front door, which is a very dark wood, big, heavy door, and the Rothschild crest is engraved upon it. As you arrive there, the doors are opened by two young ladies from the inside. These young ladies have um, various different kind of dresses and clothing on. You would seem that they're skimpy, definitely for the place where you're from, of the time where you're from, I guess. And they are tattooed, like they're every place that you see on their bodies except for their face has tattoos on them. However, they say nothing. They just open the door, and as they open the door, you look at them. You will see at the end of the hall Alexander Rothschild himself waiting for you. Good evening.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
so he looks and he walks in, tips his hat to the ladies, and basically when he gets in there, um he's going to basically tip his hat off to Rothschild's like, good evening, Mr. Rothschild.
Good evening, Mr. Pinkerton. I'm happy you could meet me on very short notice. Please follow me. And he walks over. You have to keep up with him. Not that he's fast or using any sort of celerity, but you have to cross the distance through the hallway. The hallway themselves is completely wooden. Like you can see when you pass through the hallway, you can see several doors. You can see on the right side, you can see a door being half open. If you glance into it, you can see it like it's an old-fashioned drawing room. When you walk past that, you end up in the main hall. The main hall has a double stairway winging out to the left and the right, going upstairs. However, Rothschild has gone to the left, and on the left side, he's standing in the door opening.
So basically, he'll enter basically where Rothschild wants them to go and whatnot. He'll enter and just wait till he sit down before he sits down.
All right, that's very nice. When you enter, you'll enter in a grand library, and where you can sit is on a futon. You can sit on a normal chair. You can sit at the desk if you wanted to. At the moment, all sits are done. When you keep standing, Rothschild himself will sit at the desk place, and then you can sit at one of the larger, heavier chairs, or you can sit at on a couch.
He'll sit at the chair basically, and one of the heavier chairs, and he'll just wait till basically he just wait till he speaks real quick until he see what this all about.
Mr. Rothschild, again, welcome in the Rothschild. Mr. Pinkerton, welcome to the Rothschild estate. You know my name. My name is Alexander Rothschild, and I am happy to see that you could arrive on so short notice. Our city, as you're well aware, I'm sure, has been under some serious stress lately. War, political troubles and whatnot. During or just before all these things, there had been an explosion of a restaurant. I'm not sure if you are familiar with it. The restaurant is called Le Perfecta, and is owned by Alexander Delano.
And as you say the name, he will take out a notebook and a pencil and basically start writing down a few things.
Alexander Delano is one of ours. So we considered it to be an attack on us. However, we haven't located who did this yet. It appears the explosion, as it happened, started in the kitchen and was a result of a homemade explosive device. It leaked gas from the ovens of the restaurant, and piece of a pipe bomb was found. So it was a combined explosion.
All right, so that narrows it down to a couple of things.
Oh,
So
I'm not done yet. Just wait. Because you are right. It was definitely with grievous intent. Among the wreckage, the search was unable to be confirmed what it was. It could be both, but the one person that had witnessed anything is an elderly woman by the name of Lisa Oliver. I have her name right here and her address as well. And he hands over a small card.
He'll take it and put it almost like a little bookmark in his notes, his little notebook.
She describes seeing 3 individuals walking around behind La Perfecta around 2 a.m. in the morning of the explosion. Her report describes a large white male, a hunched over smaller male in a trench coat, and a woman wearing all black.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Of course, the result of this investigation, if any, if you could, would be to find out the true identification of 1 or 3 of these individuals. If you could also trace back the steps, maybe through the use of the homemade explosive, could be an angle in which you could use your investigation. I would definitely advise you speak to Lisa Oliver for obvious reasons. But clearly, for the betterment of the city, it would be wise and interesting to find out what happened.
Okay. And he'll write a few stuff in his notebook, and he will basically keep it half closed, have his finger in the middle of it so he can make sure he keeps on that page. Even though he do have a little bookmark for the card there of the old elderly lady, but he'll look to Ruth Child and just basically. So I just recently moved here about give it a take about 3 weeks ago, and heard a little bit about a few things, but I would just like to ask a few questions.
Go ahead.
So you say we well we are basically at war. Am I correct?
We are at war with Sabat, that's correct.
All right. Let's narrow it down a little bit. Um. So, do you think this could be a possible retaliation from one of the members?
Theoretically, yes, but the timing would have been quite off because the timing of this explosion would have been an opening crescendo and then again, not a very good one.
Okay. All right. So most likely the possibility of this is probably someone who is almost independent like I am. So he'll write down a few things. All right, that could be one of the possibilities. Have anybody in the has anybody in the in our community been pissing off individuals lately?
Oh yes, there's too many pissing off to go by. Tremere have pissed off the Nosferatu, the Toreador have pissed off the Tremere, and so on and so forth. This will be an oncoming game. Only few things that are not really active in pissing people off are surprisingly the Bruja and the Gangrel being quite at ease with each other and themselves.
Okay. So is there anybody else looking into this?
Oh, I assume many people. I assume our late sheriff and now seneschal have been looking into this for quite some while, and his hounds. I I assume others are busy working at it, since I think it would go with great prestige if it's solved.
It's understandable. So basically, I'm gonna be almost at the of the skirt tails of the hound of the sheriff and his hounds, then, and the seneschal.
Yes. So I think if you have what it takes, you would be able to maybe find out other things than them, and maybe connect with them to see what they have found out. Maybe yes and no, share some insight. That is all up to you, Mr. Pinkerton.
It's understandable.
At this moment, I would like you to consider yourself hired by me. So all those informations that you find would reach me as well.
Of course, you are them. You are basically my employer, and the information will come directly back to you.
So the most important part of our deal is the payment. What is your current rate, Mr. Pinkerton?
Well, he'll scratch his chin a little bit. Just a new suit.
Got it. Deal.
You know, ever since being in the unliving, I haven't really had need for any materialistic things of late.
Right. I saw you drive up onto the estate on my security cameras. Your car has seen better days.
Indeed, it has.
Perhaps if you finish this properly, you'll get the suit for your hours, no matter what the result. If the result is positive for us, or at least conclusive, I'll buy you a new car.
That can definitely work.
Wonderful. And Rothschild stands up and he offers his hand to Pinkerton.
Pinkerton will stand up, obviously a huge individual, and will shake his.
As he notices his hand disappearing, because this large individual is large, he nods and then says, "Then that makes us a deal. I'll make sure you get your finery when it's due. And I hope you can find who did this dreadful deed."
Of course, everybody deserves to be, you know, feel safe, especially among our community.
Indeed. Before you go, I would like some sort of background information, so when people ask me who I send to investigate this Camarilla matter, I know exactly who I send. So may I know your specific family or clan, how you would like to call it?
I'm Pinkerton from Clan Bruja.
I hoped as much. I'm happy to hear.
I am independent in this case, so you don't have nothing to worry about for me.
That is music to my ears. I hope if this is successful, you'll be open to working for me more often.
Strong possibility.
I like those words. Now let's move into action. I will see you shortly. We'll keep up to date. There's a number here on this card, and he gives you another card with his personal information on it, phone number, address. You'll find out, obviously.
And he'll nod and basically just put it in his notebook and then put it back in his jacket, and then he'll be like, "We'll be in touch, Mr. Rothschild."
Yes, we will. I bid you a very good day, sir.
You as well. And he'll walk out.
All right. As you walk out, Rothschild will walk with you all the way to the front door. At the front door, as they're opened again, you can see the old man, like he's standing there waiting till you came back. He's holding an umbrella because it's raining and it's Ireland. Of course, he can't really cover you with the umbrella, but he can cover himself with the umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
And he hands you a second one for you.
And he'll nod and say thank you, and he'll basically set up the umbrella and then, you know, just start making his way towards the car.
as you make your way towards the car, I can end the scene because you'll be escorted off the premises. And we bid you a good day. Thank you, player, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching, and I wish you all a good day.